Hey there. So let me ask you something. What happens when you're speaking English and suddenly you encounter a problem? Maybe you don't understand what someone just said. Maybe you need to ask for help but don't know how. Maybe you need to complain about something that's wrong. Maybe you need to suggest a solution to a problem. Do you freeze up? Do you struggle to find the right words? Or do you have a toolkit of phrases you can use confidently? Because here's the reality. Life is full of problems. Small problems, big problems, everyday problems. And when you're navigating life in English, whether you're traveling, working, studying, or just communicating with English speakers, you need to know how to handle these problems in English. You need practical phrases that work in real situations, not textbook English, real, useful, natural phrases that native speakers actually use.
Oh, Emily, this is such a practical topic. Because I remember when I was learning English, I knew a lot of vocabulary and grammar, but when I encountered real problems in real life, I didn't know what to say. Like, I'm in a restaurant and my order is wrong, or I'm at a store and something I bought is broken, or I don't understand what someone said and I need them to repeat it. These everyday situations require specific phrases, and if you don't know them, you feel helpless and frustrated.
Exactly. And what I've noticed is that a lot of English learners focus on formal academic English. They learn to write essays, they learn complex grammar, but they don't learn the simple, practical phrases they need for everyday problem solving. And then when they're in real situations, they struggle.
That's so true. The English you need for daily life is often simpler than academic English, but it's incredibly important. Knowing how to politely ask someone to repeat themselves, how to request help, how to make a complaint, how to offer solutions. These skills make your life so much easier when using English.
Welcome to English Club Podcast. I'm Emily, and I'm here with my friend Paul, and we're so glad you're here with us today. This is our space where we learn English together, focusing on practical, useful language that you can actually use in real life.
Today, we're diving into English phrases for everyday problem solving. We're going to learn phrases for when you don't understand something, phrases for asking for help, phrases for making complaints, phrases for suggesting solutions, phrases for dealing with misunderstandings, and phrases for handling common everyday problems that arise.
This episode is all about practical English. We're not learning grammar rules or academic vocabulary. We're learning the actual phrases native speakers use when they encounter problems in daily life. These are tools you can use immediately.
Plus, we're going to practice these phrases in context. We'll give you example conversations so you can hear how these phrases work in real situations. This will help you remember them and feel confident using them.
By the end of this episode, you're going to have a whole toolkit of problem-solving phrases. You'll know what to say when you don't understand, what to say when you need help, what to say when something's wrong, and you'll feel much more confident handling everyday problems in English.
And hey, before we dive in, if you're enjoying this podcast, please like and subscribe.
Ask to our channel for more English learning podcasts. It really helps us create more content for you. Your support means everything. Okay, so let's start with one of the most common problems when communicating in English. You don't understand what someone said. This happens all the time, right? Someone speaks too fast, they use words you don't know, they have an unfamiliar accent, and you're standing there confused, not sure what to do.
And many English learners feel embarrassed about this. They don't want to admit they didn't understand, so they just nod and smile, even though they have no idea what was said. This creates even more problems because then the conversation continues and they're completely lost.
Right. So the first thing you need to know is that it's completely okay to say you didn't understand. Native speakers do this all the time. If someone speaks unclearly or too fast, even native speakers ask for clarification. There's no shame in it.
So let's learn phrases for when you don't understand. The simplest phrase is just sorry with a rising intonation. This polite, simple word indicates you didn't catch what was said.
You can also say, excuse me, or pardon. These are polite ways to ask someone to repeat themselves. The rising intonation is important. It shows you're asking, not just making a statement.
A bit more explicitly, you can say, I'm sorry, I didn't catch that. This clearly communicates that you didn't hear or understand what was said.
Or, I'm sorry, I didn't understand. This is direct and honest. You're clearly stating that you need them to explain again.
Could you repeat that, please? Is a polite request for repetition. The word please makes it very courteous.
Could you say that again, please? Is essentially the same. Both are perfectly polite ways to ask for repetition.
If someone's speaking too fast, you can say, "I'm sorry, could you speak more slowly, please?" This is a polite way to ask them to adjust their speed.
Or, could you slow down a bit, please? This is a bit more casual, but still polite.
If someone uses a word you don't know, you can ask about it specifically. "I'm sorry, what does word mean?" This shows you're paying attention and trying to understand.
Or, I'm not familiar with that word. Could you explain it? This is polite and shows genuine interest in learning.
Sometimes you understand most of what was said, but missed one part. You can say, "I understood most of it, but could you repeat the part about topic?" This is specific and helpful.
Let me give you an example conversation. Imagine you're at a train station and the announcement is unclear.
Okay, so the announcement says something you don't catch. You approach an employee and say, "Excuse me, I'm sorry, I didn't understand the announcement. Could you tell me which platform the train to London leaves from?"
Perfect. You acknowledged you didn't understand, you were polite, and you asked a specific question. The employee can then give you the information you need.
Now, let's talk about asking for clarification. This is slightly different from saying you didn't understand. Clarification is when you understood the words, but you're not sure about the meaning or the details.
Right. So phrases for asking for clarification include, just to clarify, do you mean, this shows you want to make sure I'm understood correctly.
Let me make sure I understand. Are you saying, this is a way to paraphrase what you heard to confirm it's correct?
So what you're saying is?
This is a more casual way to confirm understanding. Could you clarify what you mean by, this asks for more explanation about a specific point?
I'm not sure I follow. Could you explain that in a different way?
This is honest and shows you're trying to understand. Here's an example. Imagine your boss gives you instructions for a project, but you're not clear about the deadline.
You could say, just to clarify, when you say end of next week, do you mean Friday the 15th, or do you mean by the end of the month?
This confirms the specific deadline. Exactly. You're showing you paid attention and you're making sure you understand the details correctly. That's professional and smart.
Now, let's talk about asking for help. This is another essential skill. Whether you're lost, you can't find something, you don't know how to do something, or you're in trouble, you need to know how to ask for help politely.
The most basic phrase is simply, "Can you help me?" or "Could you help me?" The could version is slightly more formal and polite.
I need help with is direct and clear. I need help with this form, or I need help finding the bathroom.
"Excuse me, could you help me please?" is very polite. Starting with "excuse me" gets attention politely, and ending with "please" shows courtesy.
If you're lost, you can say, I'm lost. Could you help me find? This clearly explains your problem.
"I'm having trouble with, could you assist me?" This is a bit more formal. Assist is more formal than help.
Would you mind helping me?
This is a polite way to ask, suggesting that you understand they might be busy. "I hate to bother you, but could you help me with?" This acknowledges you're interrupting them, but you need assistance.
For specific help, you can be more direct. How do I? Is a simple way to ask for instructions.
"Could you show me how to?" This requests a demonstration.
Where can I find? This asks for location information.
Let me give you a scenario. You're in a supermarket and you can't find pasta. You approach an employee.
You say, excuse me, could you help me please? I'm trying to find pasta, but I can't locate it. Which aisle is it in?
Perfect. You were polite, you clearly stated your problem, and asked a specific question. The employee can easily help you.
Another scenario. You're at a hotel, and you can't figure out how to use the shower.
You call the front desk and say, "Hi, I'm in room 302. I'm having trouble with the shower. Could someone come up and show me how to turn on the hot water?"
Excellent. You identified yourself, stated the specific problem, and requested specific help. Clear and effective.
Now, let's discuss making complaints. This is something many English learners find difficult because they worry about being rude, but there's a difference between complaining rudely and complaining politely but firmly.
Exactly. When something is wrong, you have a right to say so. The key is doing it politely and constructively. You're not attacking the person, you're addressing the problem.
Let's start with mild complaints. "I'm sorry to..."
Other you, but there's a problem with. This is polite and non-confrontational. "Excuse me, but I think there's been a mistake with." This suggests error rather than fault. "I'm afraid there's an issue with." The phrase "I'm afraid" softens the complaint. For restaurant situations, "I'm sorry, but this isn't what I ordered." This clearly states the problem without being aggressive.
"Excuse me, but my food is cold. Could I get it heated up, please?" This identifies the problem and suggests a solution.
For store situations, "I bought this yesterday and it's already broken. I'd like to return it, please."
This states the problem and your desired resolution.
This item is damaged. Could I exchange it for a new one? Again, problem plus solution.
For service complaints, I've been waiting for over 30 minutes. When will my order be ready? This is firmer but still professional.
I called yesterday and was told this would be ready today, but it's not here. Can you explain what happened? This expresses disappointment while seeking information.
The structure for polite complaints often follows this pattern. Acknowledge the situation politely, state the problem clearly, request a solution or explanation.
Let me give you a full example. You're at a hotel and the room isn't clean.
You call the front desk. Hello, this is room 405. I'm sorry to bother you, but the room hasn't been cleaned. There are dirty towels and the bed hasn't been made. Could you send housekeeping up, please?
Perfect. Polite opening, clear problem statement, specific request. That's how to complain effectively without being rude.
Another example. You're at a restaurant and your steak is overcooked.
You politely get the server's attention. Excuse me, I'm sorry, but I ordered my steak medium rare, and this is well done. Would it be possible to get another one cooked correctly?
Excellent. You stated what you ordered, identified the problem, and made a reasonable request. The server can easily fix this.
Now let's talk about suggesting solutions. When there's a problem, being able to propose solutions is very valuable. It shows you're proactive and collaborative.
Right. So phrases for suggesting solutions include, why don't we? This is casual and collaborative.
How about we? Or what if we? These are similar, offering ideas in a friendly way.
Maybe we could. This is tentative, suggesting a possibility rather than demanding.
I suggest we, or I propose we. These are more formal, often used in professional settings.
One option would be to, this presents an idea as one possibility among several.
We could try. This suggests experimentation, acknowledging the solution might not be perfect.
The best solution might be to, this presents your idea as optimal while still leaving room for discussion.
If I may suggest, this is very polite, asking permission to offer an idea.
Let me give you a scenario. You're working on a group project and you're behind schedule.
You could say, we're running behind. I suggest we divide the remaining work. How about I take section A, you take section B, and Sarah takes section C? We could all work tonight and meet tomorrow to combine our parts.
Perfect. You acknowledged the problem, proposed a specific solution.
Exactly. You offered a clear task division and suggested a timeline. That's productive problem solving.
Another scenario. You're traveling with friends and your hotel reservation is messed up.
You could say to your friends, okay, the hotel overbooked. One option would be to ask if they have a partner hotel nearby, or we could try to find another hotel ourselves. What do you think?
Great. You presented options and invited input. That's collaborative problem solving.
Now let's discuss dealing with misunderstandings. These happen frequently in any language, but especially when you're not a native speaker.
Right, so when there's a misunderstanding, you need phrases to clarify and correct. I think there's been a misunderstanding. Is a gentle way to address it?
I'm sorry, I think we're talking about different things. Acknowledges confusion without blaming anyone.
Let me clarify what I meant. Gives you a chance to explain more clearly.
I apologize if I wasn't clear. What I meant was, this takes responsibility for unclear communication.
Actually, I said not. This gently corrects what the other person heard.
No, sorry, I meant, this is a quick correction when someone misheard you.
Here's the scenario. You told your colleague you'd send the report on Tuesday, but they thought you said today.
They say, where's the report? You said you'd send it today. You respond, I'm sorry, I think there's been a misunderstanding. I said I'd send it on Tuesday, not today. I'll have it ready by Tuesday afternoon.
Perfect. You addressed the misunderstanding politely, clarified what you actually said, and confirmed the timeline. Clear and professional.
Another scenario. Someone thought you were inviting them to lunch, but you were just asking if they'd already eaten.
They say, great, I'd love to have lunch with you. Where should we go? Oh, I'm sorry for the confusion. I was just asking if you'd eaten yet, not inviting you to lunch. But actually, I'm free now. Would you like to grab lunch together?
Nice. You cleared up the misunderstanding and then turned it into an actual invitation. That's smooth social skills.
Now let's talk about phrases for when you need more time or need to delay something.
This comes up a lot. You can't meet a deadline. You need more time to think. You can't respond immediately. Here are useful phrases.
Could I have a bit more time? This directly requests additional time.
I need some time to think about this. Explains you're not ready to respond immediately.
Can I get back to you on that? This asks permission to respond later.
I'll need to check on that and get back to you. Explains you need to gather information before responding.
Could we push the deadline back a few days? This requests an extension.
I'm afraid I'm going to need an extension, is more formal, often used in academic or professional contexts.
Let's say your professor assigns a paper due Friday, but you're overwhelmed with other work.
You approach them after class. Professor, I'm working on the paper, but I'm having difficulty finishing by Friday due to other commitments. Would it be possible to have until Monday to complete it?
Excellent. You acknowledged you're working on it, explained the reason for delay, and proposed a specific alternative.
Now let's discuss apologizing when you've made a mistake or caused a problem. Knowing how to apologize properly is important.
Absolutely. A good apology has several parts. You acknowledge what happened, you take responsibility, you express regret, and if appropriate, you explain how you'll fix it or prevent it in the future.
For simple apologies, I'm sorry is basic but effective. I apologize is more formal.
I'm so sorry about that adds emphasis to show you really mean it.
I'm really sorry for specifies what you're apologizing for.
I apologize for the inconvenience is formal, often used in professional or service contexts.
It's my fault or it's entirely my fault takes full responsibility.
I should have acknowledges what you should have done differently.
It won't happen again or I'll make sure this doesn't happen again shows commitment to improvement.
Let's say you were supposed to meet a friend at 7 p.m., but you forgot and arrived at 7:30.
You say, I'm so sorry I'm late. I completely forgot about the time. It's entirely my fault. I know your time is valuable and I should have set a reminder. I really apologize for making you wait.
Perfect. You acknowledged what happened, took full responsibility, showed understanding of the impact, and indicated what you should have done. That's a complete, sincere apology.
Now let's talk about phrases for when you need to interrupt politely. Sometimes you need to interject in a conversation, but interrupting can seem rude if not done carefully.
Right. So phrases for polite interruption include, "Excuse me, may I interrupt for a moment?" This asks permission to interject.
Sorry to interrupt, but this acknowledges you're interrupting while still doing it.
Can I just say something quickly? This suggests your interruption will be brief.
Before you continue, may I ask, this stops them politely to insert your question.
I'm sorry to cut in, but this is similar to sorry to interrupt.
In a meeting, imagine someone is explaining a plan, but there's a critical error you need to point out.
You say, "Excuse me, sorry to interrupt, but I think there might be an issue with that approach. The deadline is actually next week, not next month, so we wouldn't have enough time."
Good. You interrupted politely, explained why, and provided important information. That's a productive interruption.
Now, let's discuss phrases for when you disagree with someone. This can be tricky because you want to express your disagreement without being offensive.
Exactly. Polite disagreement is an art. You can disagree completely while still being respectful. The key is focusing on ideas, not attacking the person.
Phrases for polite disagreement include, "I see your point, but..." This acknowledges their perspective before presenting yours.
I understand what you're saying. However, this is similar, showing you listened before disagreeing.
"I'm not sure I agree with that." Is gentle, expressing uncertainty rather than absolute disagreement.
I see it differently, focuses on your perspective rather than saying they're wrong.
"I have a different opinion," is straightforward but neutral.
Actually, I think this offers your view as an alternative. Evasive. With respect, I disagree because...
This maintains courtesy while clearly disagreeing.
That's one way to look at it, but another perspective is...
This acknowledges their view while offering another. Let's say a colleague suggests a strategy you think won't work.
You respond, I understand why you're suggesting that approach. However, I have some concerns. Based on what happened last time we tried something similar, we encountered problems X and Y. I'm not sure this will work either. What if we tried approach Z instead?
Excellent. You acknowledged their idea, explained your disagreement with reasons, and offered an alternative. That's constructive disagreement.
Now, let's talk about phrases for confirming information. When you want to make sure you have the correct information, you need confirmation phrases.
Right. Just to confirm is a great starter for verification.
So, if I understand correctly, shows you're checking your understanding.
Let me make sure I have this right. Indicates you want to verify details.
Can you confirm that? Directly asks for confirmation.
So you're saying seeks confirmation by paraphrasing.
For example, you're booking a hotel over the phone.
You say, "Okay, just to confirm, I'm booking a double room for 2 nights, checking in on Friday the 10th and checking out Sunday the 12th. The total is $250. Is that correct?"
Perfect. You restated all the important details and asked for confirmation. This prevents mistakes.
Now let's discuss phrases for expressing uncertainty or not knowing something. Many learners feel uncomfortable admitting they don't know, but it's important to be honest.
Absolutely. Pretending to know when you don't causes bigger problems. It's much better to admit uncertainty.
I'm not sure is simple and honest.
I don't know is direct. There's nothing wrong with saying this.
I'm not certain about that is similar to I'm not sure.
I have to check on that. Acknowledges you don't know but can find out.
That's a good question. I don't have that information right now. Is professional.
I'm afraid I don't know, but I can find out for you. Shows willingness to help even though you don't currently know.
I'm not the best person to ask about that. You should talk to redirects to someone who knows.
Imagine a customer asks you a technical question you don't know the answer to.
You respond, that's a great question, but I'm not certain about the technical details. Let me connect you with our technical support team who can give you accurate information.
Perfect. You didn't pretend to know, and you directed them to the right resource. That's honest and helpful.
Now let's discuss phrases for making requests. We touched on this earlier with asking for help, but let's go deeper.
Request can range from very casual to very formal. The level of politeness depends on the situation and who you're talking to.
Casual requests among friends might be simple. Can you or could you?
Would you mind is more polite. Would you mind closing the window?
I was wondering if you is quite polite and indirect.
Would it be possible for you to is formal and very polite.
If it's not too much trouble, could you?
Acknowledges you're asking a favor. Adding please to any request makes it more polite. Could you please?
For formal written requests, I would appreciate it if you could is professional.
Let's say you need your neighbor to water your plants while you're on vacation.
You say, "Hi, I'm going to be away next week. Would you mind watering my plants? I'd really appreciate it. I could return the favor anytime you need."
Great. Polite request, expression of appreciation, and offer to reciprocate. That's how to ask for favors.
Now let's discuss phrases for giving and receiving feedback or criticism. This is delicate because you want to be honest but not hurtful.
Right. When giving feedback, start with something positive if possible. Then address the issue constructively.
I really liked, but I think could be improved follows the positive then constructive pattern.
One thing that might make this better is offer suggestions rather than just criticism.
Have you considered? Poses alternatives as questions rather than directives.
This is good, and it would be even better if emphasizes improvement rather than failure.
When receiving criticism, thank you for the feedback, shows you're open to it.
I appreciate you pointing that out, acknowledges their help.
That's a good point. I'll work on that. Shows you're taking it seriously.
Let's say a colleague asks you to review their presentation.
You say, overall, this is really strong. The content is excellent and well organized. One suggestion I have is to add more visuals to the slides. It would help engage the audience even more. What do you think?
Excellent. You started with genuine praise, offered specific, actionable feedback, and invited their thoughts. That's constructive criticism done right.
Now let's talk about phrases for dealing with technical problems or customer service issues.
These situations require clear communication about what's wrong and what you need.
I'm having trouble with clearly states the problem area.
It's not working properly, indicates malfunction.
I keep getting an error message that says, provide specific technical information.
I've tried, but it's still not working, shows you've attempted to solve it yourself.
Could you walk me through how to fix this? Asks for guided help.
Is there someone who can help me with a technical issue? Seeks the right person.
Imagine you're calling tech support because your internet isn't working.
You say, "Hi, I'm calling because my internet connection isn't working. I've tried restarting the router, but I'm still not getting any connection. Can you help me troubleshoot this?"
Perfect. You stated the problem, mentioned what you've already tried, and requested specific help. The tech support person has all the information they need to assist you.
Now let's discuss phrases for managing expectations or setting boundaries.
This is important for preventing problems before they arise. Clear communication about what you can and can't do saves trouble later.
I can do that, but I'll need until. Manages timeline expectations.
I can help with X, but not with Y. Clearly defines what you can offer.
Just so you know, this might take longer than expected.
Prepares people for potential delays. I want to be upfront with you. Introduces honest communication about limitations.
I need to be clear about what I can commit to. Sets boundaries on your obligations.
To manage expectations, I should mention, provides advance notice of limitations.
Let's say your boss asks you to take on a new project, but you're already overloaded.
You respond, I'd be happy to work on this project. However, I want to be upfront that I'm currently working on 3 other projects with deadlines next week. I can start this new project, but I won't be able to dedicate significant time to it until those are complete. Would that timeline work?
Excellent. You showed willingness, clearly communicated your current workload, and proposed a realistic timeline. That's professional boundary setting.
Let me give you some rapid-fire phrases for common everyday situations. These are phrases you'll use constantly.
Great idea. Let's do categories. First, at a restaurant.
Can I see the menu, please? I'd like to order. Could I have the check, please? Could we get some water? Is this spicy? Does this contain nuts?
At a store. How much is this? Do you have this in a different size, color? Can I try this on? Where are the fitting rooms? Do you accept credit cards? Can I get a receipt?
For directions, excuse me, how do I get to? Is this the right way to? How far is it? Can I walk there or should I take a bus? Which direction is?
On public transportation. Which bus goes to? Does this train stop at? How much is a ticket? Excuse me, is this seat taken? What's the next stop?
At a hotel, I have a reservation under. What time is checkout? Could I have an extra towel? The air conditioning isn't working. Is breakfast included?
For phone calls. May I speak to? Could you put me through to? I'll call back later. Could you take a message? This is calling.
In professional settings, could we schedule a meeting? I'm following up on. Could you send me that information? What's the deadline? I'll keep you updated.
Now let's talk about tone, because the same words can sound polite or rude depending on how you say them.
Exactly. Tone, facial expressions, and body language all affect how your words are received. Even perfect grammar and vocabulary can seem rude if delivered with the wrong tone.
When asking for something, your tone should be friendly and a bit tentative, not demanding. Could you help me? Should sound like a request, not a command.
When apologizing, your tone should convey genuine regret. I'm sorry, said dismissively, doesn't sound sincere.
When disagreeing, maintain a respectful tone, even if you completely disagree. Your voice shouldn't become aggressive or condescending.
And remember to say please and thank you frequently. These simple words make a huge difference in how you're perceived.
Also, make eye contact when speaking to people in most Western cultures. This shows you're engaged and sincere, though be aware that different cultures have different norms about eye contact.
Now let's practice with some full scenarios. I'll give you a situation and Emily will demonstrate the full conversation.
Okay, give me the first scenario.
You're at
A coffee shop. You ordered a latte, but they gave you a cappuccino. Handle this situation. Excuse me, I'm sorry, but I think there's been a mix-up with my order. I ordered a latte, but this looks like a cappuccino. Could I get a latte instead, please? Thank you.
Perfect. Polite, clear, non-accusatory. Next scenario. You're in a taxi and the driver is going the wrong way.
Excuse me, I think we might be going the wrong direction. I need to go to Main Street, and I believe it's the other way. Could we turn around, please?
Great. You politely pointed out the error and gave clear direction. Next, your hotel room hasn't been cleaned and you need it cleaned before a meeting.
Hi, this is room 315. I'm sorry to bother you, but my room hasn't been cleaned yet, and I have an important meeting here in 2 hours. Would it be possible to have housekeeping come up as soon as possible? I'd really appreciate it.
Excellent. You explained the urgency politely and made a reasonable request. Last scenario. Someone is speaking too fast in English and you can't follow.
I'm sorry, I'm still learning English, and when you speak quickly, it's hard for me to follow. Could you please speak a bit more slowly? I really want to understand what you're saying.
Perfect. You were honest about your language level, made a polite request, and showed genuine interest. That's how to handle it.
As we come to the end of this episode, I want to emphasize something important. These phrases are tools. Knowing them is valuable, but you also need to practice using them.
Absolutely. Don't just memorize these phrases. Practice them out loud. Imagine scenarios and practice what you'd say. When you actually need these phrases in real life, they'll come more naturally if you've practiced.
And remember, making mistakes is okay. Even if you don't use the perfect phrase, as long as you're polite and clear, people will understand and appreciate your effort.
Native speaking aren't expecting perfection from language learners. They appreciate when you make an effort to communicate politely and clearly. Don't let fear of mistakes stop you from trying.
I'd love to hear from you. Which of these phrases do you think you'll use most? Have you had situations where you didn't know what to say in English? Share in the comments.
And please, if you found this episode helpful, like and subscribe to English Club for more practical English learning podcasts. Thank you so much for listening.
Remember, learning a language isn't just about grammar and vocabulary. It's about real communication in real situations. These phrases are your toolkit for navigating everyday life in English.
Practice them, use them, and gradually they'll become natural and automatic. You'll find yourself handling problems in English with confidence.
Every problem you successfully solve in English builds your confidence and improves your skills. Don't be afraid to use these phrases in real life.
See you in the next episode. Keep practicing your English and remember, you're doing great.
And keep building your English toolkit. The more practical phrases you know, the more confident you'll feel in any situation. Take care and bye for now.